Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Tallybook Troubleshooting. Big shout out to Oilfield Orphans, Winter Mud, and my guest today, CEO of CDX Energy Services, Nicholas Rodriguez.
Thanks for having me.
Once again, you can see in the background, pretty awesome. We're coming to you from the Petroleum Museum in Midland, Texas. And today, what was the big issue that you were faced with?
So we were a startup. So the issue was, how do you get work as a startup while facing the difficult company man on location?
Everybody's faced those guys. They're not unique to this industry by any means.
Right. They're not just gonna give you a free pass. You got to earn it in their eyes, I think.
So what did you have to do? I guess what was your position basically at this time? What were you doing? Were you doing sales?
I was not in sales. I was the chief financial officer for this little startup. So whatever you want to call that, that's fine.
CFO is pretty cool.
CFO, yeah. My background was in finance, so that's why I came on and joined these guys. But I like working outside. So, nobody else was available to get out on a job, so loaded chemicals on a truck and went out on location.
So this difficult company man finally gave you guys a call?
So we had a pretty solid relationship with a coil company that sometimes would package chemicals for their jobs, and every once in a while we'd get a call from these guys, and just depending on how things went, sometimes you interacted with the company man, typically you didn't. Chemical delivery guys don't typically even get out of the truck. They usually unload the truck for you.
Okay, so you get your shot, you get to call the location, and the CFO is the one delivering the chemical?
CFO is the one delivering the chemical. Yeah, nobody else was available, so I just jumped in the truck and took off.
Sounds great.
Yeah. So ended up on location. The coil superintendent kind of gave me the heads up that when you get here, go ahead and back in and go in the company man trailer. He wants to talk to you. Okay, not a problem. I can talk to people, and I'm pretty sure I got all my PPE. I'm pretty squared away. Walk in the trailer, and he runs me through their safety program and makes me take a little safety test.
We've all been there if you've ever been to a location.
Yeah. Did fine, passed all the, answered all his questions, did everything fine. Gave me kind of a hard time. I had just gotten married. I had a wedding band on. It wasn't a breakaway band. He did not like that, and it was a problem for him. And in my back of my mind, I'm kind of thinking, well, I'm the chemical delivery guy. Do I typically get out of the truck? This is pretty rare circumstances. But hey, we're trying to get work here, so let's not mouth off to the company man.
For sure.
So
yes, you do what he asked.
Went to the truck, took the ring off, went back inside. He cleared me to go, unloaded chemicals, got back to my house about 3 hours later. He calls me again.
Well,
right away.
Repeat business, that's got to be, that's a good sign, okay.
So at that point, it was the middle of the night, nobody's available. Why not? Let's go. Back on location. This time I passed everything with flying colors because I remembered to not wear the wedding band. He was much happier. So this time he brings me in and he says, give me your card. And on there he sees it says CFO. Well, why is the CFO of your company out here delivering chemicals? My response to him was, well, I have a fiduciary responsibility to keep costs low. So I'm delivering chemicals.
So what was his response to that?
He laughed at me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you got another load in.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Went home 3 hours later. It's about 6 a.m. Calls me again.
Even better.
Okay.
3 times.
Third time's a charm. This time we were delivering the chemical in buckets. This time I did not have labels on these particular buckets that they wanted. So I put them in a cage, slapped a label on a cage, took the labels with me, and got on the road.
Seems pretty reasonable. You wouldn't be the only person in the oil field that did that.
Yeah. In the interest of time, I wanted to get back out there. I wanted to make these guys happy, right? It was a solid operator. They were doing a lot of work in the area. It was an opportunity that I was taking full advantage.
100%.
Yeah.
And so you got out there, you got your
back
pails?
on location, got everything unloaded. I was doing some politicking with the guys on location. I had been working with these guys a little bit on and off out there. So, I was getting everybody's brands of tobacco and all that stuff.
Networking, man.
Yeah,
That's what it's all about.
Well, and they're working in Ohio. In Pennsylvania, tobacco products are much cheaper. So I could very easily go over to the sheets on the other side of the border get some tobacco products and bring them out. These guys were working nonstop. They were sleeping in their in their tractors. So I mean, they were staying on location for the entire job.
Okay.
I mean, they were some rough guys. They were hard.
Yeah.
They were working. So if anything I can do to make y'all's job easier, I'm gonna bring you some food. I'm gonna bring you some tobacco products.
Sounds like you're making friends. That's the way to do it,
That's
man.
right. Well, I'm out there doing the deal, putting labels on these buckets. Competition comes out.
Well, that's never good.
Competition Chemical comes out, and he's got the same load I just dropped off. Well, I watch him come in. He backs into the company man's trailer, goes inside. Company man's backing him out into his truck, hollering at him, telling him to go ahead and leave location. I had no idea what was going on. I just figured maybe it's a big job and they need more chemicals, and sometimes they share the love, you know. Well, come to find out that this company man had been racing us. He
was calling you
and
somebody else.
The major chemical guys of the area of the time, yeah.
And because the CFO was willing to put on some coveralls and get in the truck and get it out to location as quick as possible instead of trying to find somebody.
Yeah.
You guys got it. So did you ever find out what the company man, why he was calling out too?
Yeah, he basically wanted to see who was going to get there first and who was more reliable. So their shop was about 2 hours closer than our shop was to this particular location. So he wanted to know who was going to get on the road and get going faster.
So how long did the races last then?
That was it. After that day, that was the end of it.
Did he tell you that, or?
He did, because he came over. What are you doing over here? And I'm putting the labels on the buckets for you guys. In the interest of time, I wanted to get them out here for you. I know you have some time before I got here to use them because you're still working on your other pallets over here. But by the time you come down to it, the labels are going to be on here, sir. And oh yeah, good. Well, and what was that going on over there with the competition? Well, every time I called you, I called them also. Okay, that's kind of an eye opener. Well, I'm glad I got in the truck and ran out there as quick as I could.
In the end, the games out here in the oil fields, sometimes you don't see them coming, sometimes you get to get them. I think we're always knowing that we're up against, time clocks and prices, and the competition out here is fierce. And
it is, yeah.
Awesome to hear that, the C-level suite guys are willing to get dressed up and make it happen, man.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I'd probably rather be on location than in an office.
Well, thank you very much for coming on, letting us know what it takes for a startup. You got to be willing to do anything out there.
That's right.
So, till next time, everybody. Tally books. Let's do some troubleshooting.